Welcome to another episode of Oscar's Interviews, a podcast hosted by me, Oskar. This podcast is aimed not just at people with visual impairments, but also the wider impaired community, including support professionals and anyone else who might consider themselves an ally. Through conversations with students and support professionals, we explore different perspectives and what this kind of support really looks like in everyday life. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Let's get started. Hi guys, I'm here with Maya, and today we're going to be talking about the role of a note taker. And Maya, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Of course not. So I'm Maya, I'm 24 years old, and I've been a note taker with Senclude since last year. I think it must have been September. I work at Cornwall College with my student 3 times a week, and we're just coming up to the end of the year right now, but I'm going to be on with her for another year, which I'm very looking forward to.
Oh, that's amazing. So you both have rapport, basically. You've got a relationship.
We've got a fantastic working relationship. She was very hopeful that I'd been there next year, and I said, as long as you need me, I'm available. So I'm going to be on for the next year, and then we'll just see where it takes us. She might go on for another year after that, in which case I'll come back again. And as long as she's going to be with Cornwall College, I'll be there as well.
That's perfect. So, would you mind telling me about how you became a note taker, how you ended up doing the role?
So for a while, I was volunteering. I'm still am volunteering at the local museum, and one day I came back home feeling really positive, and I went on Indeed and I saw this role for a note taker, and note taking was something that very much intrigued me since I was younger. One of my peers in college, they also had a note taker, and I thought, oh, that's such a interesting role to be someone, the person you're basically being someone's like scribe, and I just thought that was a really cool thing. So I applied for this role. I immediately had the interview the next day, and I didn't realize it was a proper interview. I just kind of they was giving me an activity to do. It was like an online typing activity where I had to recall what I heard. So I recalled so much of the information that I got the job within 20 minutes, which was
Oh,
amazing,
wow.
unheard of.
Oh, that's wow. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that.
I'm still so
Um,
proud of it. I never expected. I told my mum, and I was like, "Oh, I've just had an interview," and then I went back, checked my emails, and then I came back outside my room, and I was like, "I've got the job now." So very good,
Perfect.
very convenient. So then I had a lot of training to do, and that led me up into September, which is when I started with my student. And I've been on a 3-day basis, so I do 2 full days, 1 half day, and then I have 2 days off because obviously the college she's only in for a certain amount of time each week. But if she ever needs me for an extra day, I can always come in and help out with her. I think next year there's going to be some theory stuff which I know she struggles with, which is I'm going to go in and just help her on these extra days to kind of work out how to do all these kind of bits.
So, I mean, you kind of answered that question already, but what does the work actually look like in practice?
So every day, I am in charge of taking up all of her notes. So I sit next to her. I always make sure that I'm sat next to her. So if she has any questions, or she wants to just check my notes are okay, or if there's something that she really wants me to detail, she can just whisper over to me without interrupting the class. Thankfully, they're quite a small group, so there's never any real interruptions. But I sit with her. I take all of my notes digitally on Word, and I have a certain note, I'd like a template as well that works for her. So it's in the size that she can read and a font that she can read. It's set out the exact same for every lecture. So it has the main bulk of the notes and the summary, and then any actions she has to take. So like homework or research tasks or anything that needs to be desperately done for the next session. And those are laid out exactly the same each week, and they've all got their own folder. So she knows exactly if she has something from one lecture she wants to find, she goes in, she looks in that folder, she's got the
Mhm.
information just there. It's very easy to find things as well. So if there's a word that she needs to look for, she can use a quick keyboard shortcut and then she can just find that word. I've also ended up having to make little extra templates as well for her. So she had a like a theory module last year, and some of the words that they were using were like words she'd never heard of, words I'd never heard of because it was very philosophical, and
Yeah.
it was quite a big jump for me. So I ended up making a big glossary of terms to help her so that if these words she could then actually use in the essay, and it helped her understanding of everything, and it helped her work out everything around these theories.
Oh, that's perfect. Um, Perfect. So, what makes a set of notes generally accessible and effective for a visually impaired student?
So since she's visually impaired, I need to make sure first of all that she has a she's able to see some things and that other things that are too small for her to see. So it's very
Mm.
essential that I always make sure that anything that's written is readable. So she can see bold, she can see big. I think it's Arial. No, Calibri. Calibri is the font that she can use. So I have to make sure it's in quite like a size 18 Calibri, bold occasionally, and some colors she's okay with. But I know that I can never use italics because it ends up kind of making everything askew, and it's a bit harder
Mhm.
for her to understand because everything then blends into each other. So it's all about making sure that every note that I type up is readable. If I try to do anything different, say like I put in a color to kind of highlight something, I always check with her and I say, "Can you read that okay?" And if she can, then we leave it at that. And if she can't, I'll find a different color, or I just bold it, or I highlight it. I don't think I've actually used the highlighter option with her. She's not something that she's really said that she wants to use before. It's mainly bold, size 18/size 20 Calibri.
Can you share an example where your support made a real difference to your student?
So at the beginning of the year, my student had a module, and this years before, she'd gone to school, she'd struggled with it, she'd always had low marks because the teachers just they didn't know how to help her. They didn't know how to help someone with a vision impairment. It was like it was before the 2000s, so obviously the real support systems weren't set in place, and she was very used to getting these low marks or just kind of being disregarded. So in the first module, I was with her for the whole time, and uh, she with everything that she did. I was there taking the notes. She was obviously her focus was on the physical art, but if there was anything that needed like a write up, so they always have an evaluation, and I always make sure that she's got the notes for that, and I go over things with her. So I was there and I helped her get all these notes, and I believe it was the first module. She definitely got in the 70s. I think it was either 71 or 74 out of 100, and it's the highest mark she'd ever got. And she was over the moon. She was emotional. She was thanking me. She was just so happy, and she's been hitting consistently high grades now. So obviously, it was for more the fact that she always had that potential, but I think she just needed that extra step of support that she never got
Yeah.
before to really reach it. And since I've been there, she's just been getting such consistently great grades, and I'm like, it makes you feel very warm inside to see she's getting such high grades. She always thanks me, and I always just feel like I've made such a difference on your life. And yeah, I can see her doing so well after uni. I'm very proud.
It really feels so nice to hear that, honestly, because that is also important. Like, for you to personally feel that change and what it means to you personally, that is also a good thing to include and to have. Because if we don't have people that actually care about what they do, how can they support us, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's really that's the key thing as well, caring about the role you're taking on. If you go into this role and you just kind of see it as, oh, I'm just going to take your notes and I'm going to build up no rapport with you and I'm going to do, the absolute bare minimum just to kind of be here, just to get those notes. There's not gonna be a good outcome for either of you. You're not gonna feel good about it, and your student isn't gonna feel good because they're not gonna feel that they have that real working relationship with you, and they're not gonna feel that they can trust you, which is a really essential part of being a note taker, is having a student who knows that they can trust you, especially since they come with their own vulnerabilities.
What would you say to someone considering this kind of work?
I'd say immediately yes. I'd say strongly consider doing something like this. If this is something that you've even thought about possibly doing, for the like the fulfillment of it and the way that you come home from work feeling like you've made a difference to someone's day, even just like just an hour of doing note taking just makes you feel so like fuzzy inside. I say absolutely do it, but I do think you need to have the right mindset. Like I said, when you go in, you need to make sure you are actively willing to be there for your student. You're obviously, if your student needs help outside, sometimes there might be like a moment where my student wants to just quickly call me about something outside of work. And I think it is very important to kind of have the time to make sure that you are available. Obviously, not all the time, but it is important
Of
to make sure your
course.
student knows that you are there in a crisis. But it is
Of
about making
course.
sure that you're willing to build up a good relationship with your student, because if you don't have that good relationship, nothing's going to come of it, and your student isn't going to be able to feel that they can reach their full potential.
Thank you so much for the interview.
No worries,
Um,
thank you.
it went really well. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
Um,
I very much enjoyed that. It was really nice.
and thank you very much. So yeah, uh, hopefully until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this conversation and were able to take something away from it. If you would like to learn more about what we do at Senclude and hear more episodes of the podcast, make sure to follow our social media accounts, which will be linked in the description below. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you in the next episode.